For years, we've heard mostly about the risks of cannabis, but new science is starting to tell a different story. Recent studies suggest that for older adults, cannabis might actually have some surprising benefits for brain health. Researchers at the University of Colorado recently looked at data from over 26,000 adults to see how cannabis affects the brain. They used the UK Biobank, one of the world's largest medical databases, and focused on people between the ages of 40 and 77. What they found was striking. Moderate cannabis users actually showed larger brain volumes in several key areas. These regions are packed with CB1 receptors, the parts of our brain that interact directly with cannabis compounds. The regions showing growth are responsible for our memory, our processing information, and even how we regulate our emotions. But it wasn't just about the size of the brain. These users also scored better on cognitive tests. They were faster at processing information and better at learning new things compared to those who never used cannabis. This is a big deal because it suggests that cannabis affects the brain differently depending on how old you are. While use in teenagers is still a concern, moderate use in later life might actually support brain health. Dr. Anika Guha, the lead researcher, noted that these findings suggest a protective effect we didn't fully realize before. As we age, our brains naturally lose some volume and function. Cannabis might help slow that process down. For policy reform, this science is vital. It challenges the old stoner stereotypes with hard data. Medical researchers are now looking at cannabis not just as a treatment for pain, but as a potential tool for brain fitness. Now, we have to be honest, this was an observational study. It shows a link, but it doesn't prove cause and effect. While the data is strong, we still need details on how cannabis was consumed, whether through smoking, edibles, and what were the specific potencies. We also saw that heavy use might lower volume in the posterior cingulate, an area linked to self-reflection. This highlights why balance and moderation are essential for long-term cognitive health. For us activists, these findings are the foundation for a much larger economic conversation. Industrial hemp is a sleeping giant ready to revitalize local economies with new jobs and steady revenue. Take hempcrete, for example, a carbon-negative material that turns local manufacturing into a sustainable powerhouse. Yet outdated regulations continue to create confusion and block this massive growth potential. Farmers shouldn't be forced to destroy crops over minor THC variances. It's time for common sense policy reform. Studies like the one from Colorado give us the scientific ammunition to fight these outdated policies. We need more large-scale research to understand the full picture of how cannabis interacts with the aging brain. When we understand the health benefits, we can build better healthcare regimens for our seniors. Instead of just managing decline, we could be looking at ways to actually enhance cognitive fitness in later life, and that translates to economic strength. A healthy population and a thriving hemp industry mean more revenue. Industrial hemp promotes a circular economy where every part of the plant is used, minimizing waste. Of course, cannabis isn't completely beneficial for everyone. Individual factors like dose and frequency matter. The goal is to move toward personalized medicine, where use is tailored to the individual's needs and health history. This research is just the beginning. We're looking at how this plant affects the brain over decades, not just days. Imagine a future where hemp is at the heart of our construction, our medicine, and our economy. To the medical researchers out there, keep digging. We need the data to prove what many of us have known for years. Collaboration between scientists, activists, and policymakers is the only way forward. You don't need a PhD to understand that when the brain stays healthy, the whole community wins. Whether it's the air we breathe in a hempcrete home or the cognitive clarity we keep as we age. The global hemp market is projected to reach over $14 billion very soon. That's a huge opportunity. That money means jobs in rural areas where traditional farming has been struggling for years. It's time to push for clearer regulations and a whole plant approach to legislation. This is a global movement. from carbon negative buildings to brain positive medicine. So remember, science is finding that cannabis might actually help the aging brain stay sharp. When we combine that health data with the economic power of hemp, the future looks greener than ever. Let's keep this conversation growing. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons and share this with your friends.